Okay, so I have a separate Etsy for my crafty stuff, and I keep my art stuff separate. This channel was supposed to be dedicated to the art stuff, but I've gotten a couple requests for how-tos on some of my crafty things. One of the most common ones was for my grandma knit cloths, like knitting the grandma cloths. So I'm gonna do a super short, simple, quick how-to video of how to make them. And if you guys like it and you want some more detail, specific knots, whatever it may be, let me know in the comments or hit me up on my Patreon, and we can just make this channel a little bit of everything. Okay, so first you'll need some yarn. I usually prefer anything that's 100% cotton. I like this brand. You don't have to buy this brand. There's a couple others similar like it, but Peaches and Cream and Sugar and Cream, I really like their material. But just find something that's 100% cotton. So you can start at either end to pull out the center. Usually the top, you'll find it. There it is. So we're going to pull it out from the middle instead of on the side. That way it doesn't completely unravel itself and become a ball of mess. So let's pull this out so we have a little bit more to work with here. Okay, first things first, you're going to want to leave a couple inches at the end so you have a tail to tie off. But we'll do that last. So just give yourself some space. Then you're going to take the string. You're going to grab it. You're going to pinch this side, spin it over, and pull that through the loop. So you should have your extra string, a loop, and that. And this loop can adjust. So it's not super tight, and then you can pull it out. So I'll show you again. Little extra space. You're going to just hold your fingers over it, pinch it, twist, pull that string through, and then grab the bottom down here and pull that knot. And you should have your adjustable little slip. Alright, once you have that, take your needle and then feel free to pause the video if you need to, or ask me to do something a little bit more detailed. But that's it for the knot. So once, grab your needle. Oh, I forgot to go over the supplies that I have. So you're going to need a pair of knitting needles. I use size 7, which is 4.5 millimeters. Most people use 8 for this. I like the smaller size because they're a little bit tighter knit cloths. You also need a crochet hook, 5.5, and then scissors. But we'll come to those last. So at the very start, take your string, you loop it through, you make your little loop, take one of your needles, and then the string that's connected to your ball, you just pull it tight. You're going to hold the extra string back so that way you don't accidentally get it tangled up into your knit. And then same thing as before, you're going to make more of those loops. And you just loop it on. So take it, spin it, and you're just going to twist it inside itself and loop it on. Twist it and loop it on. So you're going to make 4 of those. And let me show you one more time, just so we got it. So you're going to loop, then you're going to twig it, pinch it in the middle and loop, take it and loop, like that. Okay? And to start off, you only need 4 loops. And then we're going to grab our other needle. I usually put this on this side so I don't get tangled up. Take your other needle, and then where the loops connect to the rest, you're going to go inside. Let me show you. So you're going to go inside there. You're going to loop around the back one, and then pull that through itself. So you're not going to grab the original start, you're going to tie it into the loop you just put on. So starting back over, you have your 4 loops. Take this, put it underneath, loop onto the back, and then pull it through itself. And then you just take that 1 notch and take it off. You're going to do the exact same thing again. You're going to go underneath, take your string and loop it on the back needle, tuck it under itself, and pull that one off. Now this is where things get tricky, because at the first 2 of every single row, you want to add 1 loop around. So you're not doing anything to it. You're just taking your string and putting it in. And then you're going to go through that loop again and pull this up. So you're basically making an extra loop in itself without connecting to any yarn. And then you'll go back, take back and through, back and through, and now you should have 1 row done and 5 loops now because of that extra we added. So same thing, you're going to start back over, you're going to go underneath, you're going to loop behind, pull it under, pull it off, underneath, behind, tuck under, pull it off. Since we did 2, we're going to add just an extra loop by putting the string in between the needles, going underneath, going behind, under, pull. And then you're just going to repeat this whole process until you have 44 of these loops. So it's going to get pretty far and it's going to get pretty tight, so don't make it super tight. Don't be super loose as well. You want it nice in between. You want it to be able to slide up and down with ease, but without it being like stuck or without it sliding right off. This little extra tail, once we get some more distance, we're going to loop it into the top of here to make a point, so it ties it together. But for right now, don't worry about it. Just keep it out of the way. And we're just going to go loop, behind, under, off, loop, behind, under, off. Add your extra. And you're going to keep doing this for a while. It usually takes several hours to make one of these. So I'll usually complete one in about 2 days, just while I'm watching TV or whatever. But that's because I can also do it fairly fast. So if you can do it faster or slower, it is totally fine, no pressure. But just keep doing this. And you're basically moving all the yarn from one needle to the other while adding. So we started on this and it's over here. And we're just gonna keep doing this pattern until we get 44. And then once we get there, I'll show you how to go backwards. Okay, so let's check how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 20, 21, 22, 23, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So we'll squish this down. Do a couple more rows. Actually, let's go ahead and get this guy taken care of real quick. So with this is our start off. This was our first row. We'll take our crochet hook and we're just gonna find a spot up here to pop this through, and let's let's go from underneath and pull it. Let's pull it through there. Alright, so now they're together. We're going to flip it over and we're just going to find another little hole at the top to pull it through. We're just going to kind of form a corner. Once you like your corner, we're going to tie it off. So what we'll do is pick another little hole and we'll pull it through, but we won't pull it all the way through, so we'll have a little bit of a gap there and we'll pull it through that same one, and that'll make a knot. Nice and secure little knot. Then we'll cut off the extra. Kind of tuck that in. So voila, there's one of your corners. And you should be seeing this little gappy pattern coming through. Alright, that should be 44. So you got half of a dishcloth. So, from this step, what we're going to do is do your first stitch just the same as every other that you were doing. Now, since we're going backwards, and we still want to keep our pattern, we still have to add a loop. So what we're going to do is take two, go underneath two of these, and then stitch just the same way you did before. So you have two instead of three. Then you're going to wrap this over to be your little add, because we have to add one. And then, just so it doesn't even out, we want to take two more. So we want to start bringing our row in one less. So go under two, and come back over, and under, just like that. And then you'll do the rest of the row the same way as before. You just take one at a time, and you go all the way down the row. Okay. So we're going to do that again on this side. So again, just take one, the first one, loop it through, then you're going to take two, just like that. You're going to add your extra and take two again. And then do the row just like every other row. Sometimes you gotta scooch your thing back up. This doesn't pull too tight. And then just keep repeating this step until you get down to 4 loops left. Just like the way we started it. And for your first several rows going this way, whether this is the first or the first time you've done it in a while, go slow, because you just did 44 rows going one way, and you don't want autopilot to kick back in. So if you keep an eye on your first couple rows before you slip back into multitasking. Okay, so you should start seeing it come in like this. Corners are coming in on both sides, and it's coming together. We're getting down to the end. Alright, we get down to the last, you're only going to have 2 left when you get to this point, and you're just going to take them both. Just continuing that pattern. So you should end back where you started with 4 left. So what you're going to do from this step, you're going to kind of pinch it, and then just kind of slide this back and forth while pulling up. It'll pull the string up a little bit so you get some distance there. Give yourself a little space to work with. Pull it out, don't let go, keep pinching. Take your crochet hook and go inside those loops till you make sure you have all 4 on there. Spread them out so they're not on top of each other. Okay, you can kind of do the same thing, stretch them a little bit, get a little bit of space. Because this is where we're going to tie it off. So I try to give it a lot of extra space. So you're going to take your string, you're going to hook it under, and pull 1 loop through all 4 of those, just like that. Then we're going to cut off our string that's going to over here. We're going to pull that all the way through. Okay, so what you do with the extra string, that's not supposed to rip off, is you take a loop back here, you pull it through, and you basically just want to make this knot as secure as possible. So you're going to pull it through a couple spots here into its lower sides, and then tie it off the way we did at the beginning. I'm going to kind of cover this little spot here. And bring this through just a couple more to make sure that's really secure. Don't want it unraveling. Okay. Cut off the extra string. What we should have, pull out our corners a little bit. Voila! A dishcloth. So if you've made it this far in the video, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys!